should be looked into. Government and the government, they know what is happening. So they should deal with it accordingly. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Let's be diplomatic with our statement, please. We understand how painful this insecurity could be in our dear country. Also, we should understand that sometimes these men, the men of the military who are far away in the north, they are also doing their best also to make sure that while we're sleeping, they are not sleeping. Let's be diplomatic with our statement. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's the name and where are you coming from?
This is John, Mr. John from Badagry.
Trump.
John.
Okay, from Badagry. Please make your statement.
If we should have this name from outside the country, why we will not take it serious? And the governor here is reporting this, and we are sitting down here and discussing as if it's not a serious issue or if it's not true. And people are dying, and we see it every day. Look, it's like our government does not care about the people that are dying there. After what they will put in their pocket and leave. We don't just understand what is happening in this country anymore.
All right. Thank you very much for that. Yes, keep your call coming in 0705 690 0927 0705 690 0927. Or you can call us on 0802 502 7711 0802 502 7711. Or you can also call on the other line 0802 978 8003 0802 978 8003. All right, Mr. Yinka, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right. I mean, you had our callers there saying that all of this, sometimes the government of the day or sometimes most of these politicians know about it. Is it not a time for a deep, independent investigation?
I mean, that's what I've been reiterating the whole morning. So let's be careful when we say independent. Because I'm a very, I do not support external government coming to help us.
All right, let me hold you there a bit. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay, I guess we lost the call there. Please go ahead. We're talking about you are not a supporter of an external investigator or...
Yeah, I do believe in independent investigation, but led by Nigerians who have the interest of the motherland at heart, not foreign government, not external foreign government representative, because all these great countries that we look up to, they have their own interest in our resources, in our region. It could be geopolitical interest or economic interest. So, it's like when people talk up against the United States or talk against China or talk against about Russia's influence in Africa, people tend to forget they're only there for their own interest, not for our interest. They're not there to help us.
Wow.
They come around like they want to help us, but they have their own goals.
All right. Let's pick this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
yes.
Mr. Michael.
Good morning.
Good morning,
good morning.
It's Ben from Eba.
All right, Mr. Ben from Eba, please make your comment.
My concern now is, why is it that federal government now is not using Tucano jet? Tucano jet is the latest, is the best in technology concerning fighter jets. But before America will produce it for you, we sign an agreement. Nigeria will sign an agreement with Donald Trump that it will be used for only Northeast to fight because that is the agreement America will sign for you.
What did you call the name of the jet again?
Tucano jet.
Tucano jet.
Yes.
Okay.
Its functions of Tucano jet, it is meant for just terrorism. And that is what they signed with America, to fight terrorism and terrorists alone in the northeast. It was because of Tucano Jet that now terrorists now start moving to northwest and north central. The Tucano Jet have the ability to destroy all of them here. It can single out one person in the midst of 1,000 people. It can video you and send message to defense headquarters. Tucano Jet can be in Lagos and destroy a community in Ogun State. Tucano Jet move very fast. It moves very high. You cannot even see it. Anytime they employ Tucano Jet, terrorists, they start surrendering. But them and their family. Why is it that the federal government don't refuse to come to now?
All right. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Mr. Yinka, I don't know if you know about that.
I couldn't hear the.
It was saying, why can't the federal government make use of Tucano jets or something? You trying to explain what it is, how it functions, and all. You are an expert in counter-insurgency. Do you know about that, or have you come across this?
It might be called a different name. I don't know exactly what he's talking about. Tucano jet, or he's talking about UAVs for operations. So I don't really understand.
But there's this question coming from House of Reps, coming from the Senate, that our security operatives need to be equipped. Do you also question the inability of our security agencies for them to be equipped? Do you also question that?
I do question it to quite some extent. My first question would be, let's do a comprehensive audit. These billions of dollars that we spent on equipment in the last 5 years,
okay,
can we figure out what these equipment are? Where are the equipment? Are they functional? Were they actually purchased? Or was it just paper whipped and people penciled down? So because buying an equipment to fight insurgency is not a quick solution to it. First of all, have we actually done an intelligence assessment of the battlefield to figure out what weapon equipment we need? Remember earlier on I said this is not about taking guns and shooting. It's going to be a balanced approach. There's going to be some psychological warfare. There's going to be some economic warfare, and there's going to be ability to win and change mind. In the military, what we do is we have the psychological warfare operators on the ground who commingle, infiltrate the area, and be able to give you actionable intelligence on what you need to do in the area. Are we doing all this? If we're not doing this and we're just going, in trucks to go fight, we're going to be defeated. Remember, these guys on the terrain, they've been living there for a while. So they know the ins and outs. So when you bring a bunch of soldiers from all over the country, they've never been there before, they might be trapped. The intelligence is very, very important. So just throwing money at equipment is not a solution.
All right.
We need to fully understand the task at the end and have competent people, independent of the current situation, to work on it.
Wow. Thank you very much. That's one of the reasons why we're also brought in forensic audit experts. You've said it all, that getting equipment is not just only the solution to this, that all of these activities regarding insurgency, regarding military trying to take on this insurgents, there need to be a forensic audit expert. We have a lawman Nzewa right here in the studio, who is a forensic audit expert. Mr. Lawman, welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
What is this forensic audit about? And then take us how the military can implement this successfully in aiding the fight against insurgency.
I sincerely appreciate the contributions of Mr. Yinka.
Okay.
Because he actually spoke as if he understands the forensic and its job. And like you asked me in the direct question, forensic audit is a specialized type of audit. that investigate deeply into transactions that are contentious. For instance, he has mentioned funds that are released in the past 5 years for the military. And people are doubting, were these funds actually spent? What was it meant for? What was the objective? Was the objective met? And before you now begin to bring one more and put into already a leaking basket, what happened to the previous one? That's exactly what the forensic audit does. It investigates contentious. Once an item has become contentious, like our security is becoming contentious. We don't have security again. And some people say we are trying. Some people say we are not trying. That becomes what the forensic expert would have to. But there's an angle to it because of the criminal element in all this. That is exactly where, because it may end up people being prosecuted in courts. So that's the more reason you talk about forensic expert, because somebody who will produce the evidence that is now actionable, that can be relied upon to prosecute the suspects in court. Not every evidence is capable of doing that. In case you are carrying out the investigation, you discover that somebody was negligent, somebody was reckless, somebody was compromised, has compromised the system, you can't convict the person because it's a criminal offense. You must take the person through the court process. Hence, you need a forensic expert not only to investigate, but also to assist in getting justice, both for the accused and for the prosecutor.
But in terms of this military situation now, where we hear of security votes to the people, and even in the budget right now, we know how much is being pumped into security budgets, but yet it seems to be like nothing is happening. The Senate are complaining, the reps are complaining that, well, the equipment, they're not equipment to fight this insurgency, they're not equipment to fight this banditry, they're not equipment to fight all of this Boko Haram. What will the forensic experts do? How can they audit this system so that the right thing will be done? Should it be the president that will call for a forensic expert to this, or should it be whoever?
Well, a forensic expert is not a busybody. He doesn't just see contentious issues and he walks into it. He's always engaged. In the case of public interest, he's engaged by government, either through the president or the National Security Advisor, whoever that is involved and has the capacity to do the appointment. The Chief of Defense Staff could do it, the IG could do it, then to get them involved. You cannot just see the forensic expert involving himself, because the matter will also end up in court, and somebody will say, oh, you're a medicine interloper. Reason, you are not properly engaged. So he's always engaged by people who are stakeholders in the contentious issues. For this public interest on governor, president, National Security Advisor, Chief of Defense Staff.
To be aware.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Yinka, I don't know if you heard Mr. Lawman there really talking about forensic audits in all of this insecurity situation happening in our dear country. Did you hear him?
Yeah, I heard most of what he's saying. Go ahead.
Okay, I was just saying, as it is right now, situation it is right now, what the rehabilitation of terrorists and recruiting them back into the armed forces, is this not a foundation to crisis or to more crisis? Is there not going to be a problem?
That's the number one no. That's one policy I've always disagreed with. How you bring in criminals into enforcing laws. These are criminals.
But they've been rehabilitated. Some will say, they've been rehabilitated. Some will say they've been cleansed.
Rehabilitation can be done. They can rehabilitate them into farming, into other areas, not into the armed forces. I as a soldier, I frown at it. What will be the intent? What will be the population? Is there going to be a sectional rebellion in the future?
Okay.
Are they going to be representing certain interests? Because if you take a step back and look at it, a certain group of people are fighting for that to happen. I've followed that news closely. They keep fighting for the purpose of putting them into the military en masse. They stand to gain by doing that. There's no serious country that will rehabilitate insurgents, criminals into his armed forces. That's just my personal opinion.
Okay, thank you very, very much. Yes, the phone lines are still open. 0705 690 0927. 0705 690 0927. Or you can also call 0802 502 7711. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good
My name
morning.
is Johnson
Jackson from where?
from Ogun State.
All right, Jackson from Ogun State. Please make your comment.
Thank you. I want to say that Nigeria has Tucano. I think we have 3 and we're just expecting more. But the question is, since we have this Tucano, what have they used it for? Has it made any changes in the fight? I don't think there's any reasonable evidence to that. Another thing is that the problem we are having is not about really the equipment. If what we have, if you are giving this state that all the ones that we have to the Israelis, they would have finished this war long ago. How effective are we in using what we have? So we must make the best use of it. More training for our men. Otherwise, we are not going to win the war. Another thing is that we need to do a total overhaul of the war, of the fight, of our strategy. The fighting against insurgents is a multi-dimensional approach. We must look at that critically. Another thing is that we cannot win this war if we don't control the inflow of arms and ammunition. There are people behind these things. It's not common men that you can import drugs and arm and ammunition to Nigeria. They are now even use of drones too. So we have to get to those people that are doing it and eliminate them. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Yes, I call the other lines 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. What's the name? Where are you calling from, please?
My name is Pat. I'm calling from Badagry.
Your name is what?
Pat.
Pat from Badagry.
P-A-T, Pat.
Yes, Pat from Badagry. Please go ahead, make your comment.
Yes, my brother, we don't need all these grammars. I was a military officer. What is happening in this country is all about sabotage. The Nigerian army is capable of dispelling all this nonsense within 24 hours if they are allowed to. I serve in Nigeria.
So who is stopping them? Who is stopping them? You said if they are allowed to. Who then are the ones stopping them not to do?
Duro, now listen now. Maybe names were sent to this country. And recently, you had a general who was pleading with the president that he was sent to the front. And they arrested some leaders of these people. Instead of commending him, what they did was to arrest him, beat him up and lock him up and retire him. And he told us, this is a general in Nigeria Army, he told us that the sabotage, there are people in the military that are sabotaging, there are people there are a finance organization that are financing, there are even the politicians that are, look, he said it with his mouth and the whole world had him. So this grammar we are blowing. We are just blowing it, just sabotage within. They know if they want this thing to stop, it will stop. Thank you.
Right, thank you very, very much. Let me come to Mr. Yinka before I come to Mr. Lawman. Yeah, how important forensic audit is in this situation and the result that will be gotten. Mr. Lawman, that's for you. But quickly, let me come to Mr. Yinka. Mr. Yinka, are you there?
I'm here.
You heard it that if they are allowed to work, if the military are allowed to, in 24 hours, they can clear this insurgency. You are a retired major U.S. Army. Do you agree with that fact?
Not entirely.
Why?
He has a point, and the fact. Remember, we started this conversation by saying, are there infiltrations? Are there sabotage? Are there compromises? So when he says if they're allowed to walk, what does it really mean? But who's holding them back from walking? But I can tell you confidently that number one, Nigeria is blessed with brave men. I'm talking about the lower ranks. They're blessed with great brave men and women that's putting their life at a risk. With less training. Because some of the videos I've seen, some of the reports I've read, I don't see any American soldiers that will put their life in those kind of risk. Because when we step out, we know we have 85 to 90% chance of coming back. Those guys go out, they have like almost zero.
Are you talking about the difference between the U.S. Army and...
Yeah, because the biggest thing here is adequate training. Knowing the soldiers, knowing that their government, their leaders are truly behind them, and nobody has compromised anything. In Nigeria right now, we cannot say so. That everybody is behind the military. I've read reports where soldiers were ambushed. How does the insurgents have intelligence on the movement of the soldiers? Those are the things that make you raise your eyebrows. Because for you to conduct an ambush, you have prior knowledge of a movement to contact. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know they're going on a mission, so you set up an ambush for them. How does the insurgents get their hands on it? And that's why we're saying the system is infiltrated. As long as it's compromised, it's going to be difficult for the soldiers to do what they need to do.
Wow.
And we have to stand behind them with everything. It's not like, we budget. I was actually going to use some of the numbers because I dug into my archives and I found some of the numbers. Senator Sunday Karimi, the chairman of Senate Committee on Armed Services, said Nigeria has spent over half of its national earnings in recent years on combating terrorism. He gave specific figures last year.
Yes.
1.03 trillion naira has been spent by federal government in the first 6 months of 2024, which amounts to 42.8% disbursement rate and appropriation. If you look at that huge amount of money we're pumping in and we're getting little or no results, so that means the system is compromised somewhere. And that's what we need to fix. That's where the forensic analysis comes into play. So you have to integrate forensic analysis into military intelligence planning to be able to know exactly where the funds are going, where it's coming from, the money that was spent. Are they really buying the equipment? What are the equipment used for? Are we buying the equipment that we need, or we just buy equipment to make money?
I'll leave Mr. Loman to answer that. Mr. Loman, how can that be integrated? You heard Mr. Yinka there saying that. So how can that be integrated?
You just said it all. First and foremost, the appointee or the appointer of the forensic expert would not have been a stakeholder. For instance, if you want to carry out, if the army, you want to carry out forensic audit of the army, you can't give it to the chief of army staff to appoint a forensic expert. It's already a compromise. The independence of the forensic expert would have been compromised. That would have been done at a higher level, possibly the chief of defense staff, or if it is to be in the entire military, then the president. Now, at this point, he made a very great point, where he said, what did we use the money for? Before we start calling for further funds. We were looking about when they say flow of equipment. If you are saying flow of equipment, what you are saying invariably is flow of funds. Where did we buy from? What did we buy from? What budget? And where are they? If you're able to establish the movement of these funds, the purpose, and the compromises that have been made, I can tell you that 80% of the war against insurgency would have been fought. We are wasting the life of our military men for nothing because this underground job, this intelligence that is required has not been supplied. So they are just moving in and moving, like he said. When you are in the US, if you go out, you have 80% chance of coming back. But here, you have almost 0% chance of coming back.
Wow, that's
something is wrong.
That's terrible.
Very, very wrong. And he's just stating the obvious. So we are overlooking this particular, we call it the forensic audit, we call it oxygen of leadership. That is to say, if you remove forensic audit from leadership, leadership is just existing for no reason. So that helps you, because money is everything. If there is a 1 trillion, and the insurgents are having equipment, from where did they buy the equipment? Who supplied it? Where are the funds? How did they get the funds? These are all that the forensic expert will be able to establish. He will tell you who gave them the funds, when, how, where, and how much.
Are there tools to all of this?
There are tools. There are forensic tools that will do that. That's why you need a forensic expert. Most of the time, the problem is that even the leadership has been so infiltrated that you don't even know whether the person that's appointing you is already writing the report. Even angels are afraid to tread upon, because anything could happen. The person appointing you would have even written the report and say, come and say this. We have not experienced that. I'm just telling you what is capable, what you are likely to see, the risk involved in working for the public interest. The people that are appointing you, the people that will contact you, will have even told you, see what could happen. But then, the forensic expert is trained, actually, to withstand that type of temptations and pressures. That's part of the training of a forensic expert, unlike possible other...
So you know how to withstand that pressure.
Yes, it's our job.
All right, let's go to social media. Good morning, crew. It's sad. What happened to the army in their base last week? Abacha said if insurgency lasts 24 hours, the government knows about it. Look at the insecurity in the land. If you protest, the government will quickly send police, army, and laborers to stop your protest. Whereas the bandits, the S-men, killing people in Plateau, Borno, Ebonyi, Edo, Benue, Ondo, etc. You can't see such security to protect the people. That means the government is complicit in all of these killings, and it doesn't have the political will. Because the 2027 elections, political gains. Also, what Niger Republic government said concerning government is true. Also, police or army will capture the Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen and bandits. The government, this is a law. Said truly, there is a country. All right, that's coming from Olamilekon right there in Lagos. Okay, keep your call coming in, Nigerians, 0802 502 7711. 0802 502 7711. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's the name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Benjamin. I'm calling you from Lagos.
All right, Mr. Benjamin from Lagos. Please make your comment.
Please, there is an aspect I want to look at this insurgency. Most times they report that some communities have been taken and all these insurgents have settled there. I don't know why our government is keeping calm where a community is dislodged and new people are settling there. I think it's very, very easy that the government should go into such communities, get those new guys there, arrested and profiled, know where they're coming from, what's their mission. And over time, they have been telling us that these are foreigners. Okay, from what countries did they come from? Does it mean that we don't have diplomatic mission in those countries, that Nigeria cannot reach out to those countries, even if it is Nigeria, neighboring countries? Reach out to these people and profile and know what is really happening. Why are they coming to Nigeria to cause mayhem? A situation where we are told that some local government have been taken by all these insurgents and all these foreigners settled down there. And our government is keeping calm, talking a different thing. Over time, people are being killed, and people are being displaced. And these people that are displacing the locals are staying in those localities. And government is fighting, is not even looking at that. They are telling us stories, fighting insurgents. These insurgents have settled in our community. And the native community, the natives are in IDP camps. So you see, there is a lot of hanky-panky from government and the people even in the army. If you look at it, you can really know that they are really not telling us the truth.
All right. Thank you very much for your comment there. Okay. Let's because of our time, we really don't have much time there. Let's see how much we can cover quickly. Mr. Yinka, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, quickly, let's look at these two things. Let's look at the proliferation of arms. This is one major thing that we need to really, really look at. And also, let's look at, in a handing part, how can we win this war and secure our nation? How can we win this war and secure our nation? You're an expert in counter-insurgency operations. I've spent over 20 years, 15 years in this operation. So how can we win this war and secure our nation back? And also this issue of proliferation of arms. What do you think? How can we cut it down totally?
To win the war, first thing the government has to have is an intent, a clear intent. And two, we have to examine everything. Personally, serious about this, because everybody that's called in, everybody that's chimed in on this, said the same thing over and over, and we've all heard it. We have foreigners influxed into our country. Why is our border still open in the northern sector?
So
how we are counting? Why are we not having air surveillance 24/7 to account for movement into areas? I understand the gentleman has talked about
let's try to get reconnected back to you because we're finding it difficult to get you. Let's see how quickly we can get, because we need to just know how we can put an end to this. But before then, Mr. Lawman, quickly in all of these conversations, we know you're also a policy analyst, a public policy analyst also. Just what do you think about all of this situation? Do you think there is light at the end of the tunnel if the right thing is done, just like our callers have said, in regards to the security situation?
Well, the question is, what is the right thing? If the right thing is done, like you said, and the right thing is actually done, then there will be light at the end of the tunnel. But what is the right thing? The right thing would have been to totally overhaul our system. We ask ourselves, what are the things that give rise or gave rise to what is happening? At what point did we start having criminal elements having their weight and then having our funds in their hands? The foundation of all this should have been corruption, because somebody has failed to do what he's supposed to do. And then they took advantage of these things and then began to operate. There is no society that is devoid of criminals, not even in America. But the system will cage the criminal. The system will be able to make sure that if they don't dictate to you before you act, if you act, they will dictate to you after you have acted.
Let me hold you there. Thank you very much. Quickly, because we just have 1 minute. 1 minute, Mr. Yinka, 1 minute to round up this conversation. You were trying to round it up before we had network issues. Quickly, 1 minute, please.
Also, without saying, we have to maintain a positive control of our border. We need to know all inflows and outflows of personnel, all inflows and outflows of funds, all inflows and outflows of weapons, and we have to have psychological operational operators on the ground who's going to live in the area and be part of the community to give us actionable intelligence. Just coming in from outside into those areas is not going to work, and we have to walk into the plan economic development of that particular area, the Sambisa northeast sector, so that we can win some souls away from the grasp of Boko Haram, and they'll have less fighters working for them.
All right, thank you.
I'm totally against integrating those guys into our military or police.
Thank you very much. You've spoken about the importance of information intelligence, and you've made it quite imperative that intelligence is very, 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 very key in all of this conversation. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you for having me.
All right, yes, thank you very much. And that was Mr. Yinka Ogunsanya, a retired major U.S. Army and also an expert in counter-insurgency operations. Also, thank you very much for your time, Mr. Lawman Nzewa, who is a forensic audit expert.
My pleasure having you for having me.
All right, to Lagos. Let's do this again tomorrow, 7:30 down to 9 a.m. I am Michael Inyang. Please stay safe out there.
We don't just talk the talk, we walk the walk. Switch to the good side of life here on 92.7 Super FM.